Hey, quick, what you got?
Speaking of you guys being on the road, you know, we got MJ versus NASCAR.
Oh wow! Speaking of the road, okay.
Yeah. See what I did there?
Speaking of left turns.
So, as we all know, Michael Jordan owns 2311 Racing. They filed a lawsuit against NASCAR alleging antitrust violations. Essentially, NASCAR has they bought a majority of the premier racetracks in the country. They impose exclusivity deals with the racing. They own the competitors to NASCAR, and they force all the teams to buy parts from one supplier that's chosen by them.
Really?
Yeah. So they kind of got one supplier.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they basically control everything.
Right.
The way the racing teams were set up, there's a charter. The charter was signed. Most recent charter was signed in 2016, ran through 2020, was extended through December 31st of 2024. So they did a renegotiation, basically allowing teams to sign to extend the charter for an extended period of time. And they put a deal on the table and basically gave teams 5 hours to make a decision whether or not they
5 hours.
So it was basically take it or leave it. If you don't sign the charter, you're not a chartered member, which means you don't have protected and guaranteed entry into racing events each year. In the upcoming season. Yeah,
that's kind of like blackmail, man.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So the teams that if a team chose not to sign, one, they could never sue NASCAR because of the release provision, but also they weren't guaranteed entry into the races next season. That can have implications on sponsorships. It can have implications on your drivers. One of the drivers for 2311 has a clause in his contract that if there's no charter, if he's not driving a chartered car, then he can get out of his contract. So that's part of the lawsuit. The teams they're seeking a permanent charter, increased revenue from the media deal, voices in any upcoming rules changes, and a share of business revenue from any new dealings. So where we are right now, they filed a lawsuit in federal court, and they sought a preliminary injunction.
Now, who filed a lawsuit?
This is 2311.
Okay, Michael Jordan. Yeah, right.
And Front Row Motorsports.
Right.
So they're seeking an injunction basically that would allow them to operate as charter members in the 2025 season, even though they didn't sign the deal until the lawsuit is resolved, which would take a year and a half, 2 years. Where we are right now procedurally is that injunction was denied in federal court within the last week or so because there's only alleged risk and alleged damages. And in order for the court to grant a preliminary injunction, you have to show actual risk, actual damages and irreparable harm, not just prospective risk. So that's kind of where things are right now. The case is still ongoing, but we'll just kind of keep an eye on that as things move ahead.
Is Mike the only one on the lawsuit? Is it just him?
No, it's 2311 and Front Row Racing. Front Row Racing is Bob Jenkins. That's the guy that owns Taco Bell and Long John Silver.
Okay.
So
this is just his team though. That's what I
No, it's those two teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, other teams may join because it sounds like they're kind of saying one thing publicly in support of the deal,
right?
But behind closed doors, they're kind of saying what they
trying to work their way out
what
of
they
it.
really feel.
Yeah,
like we got forced into this, we didn't have a choice.
Right.
Sounds similar to another situation.
I was thinking that. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Another situation.
It's kind of like we love you in public, and behind closed doors, it's like we gotta get rid of this guy.
Facts.
Wow, man, we're rocking with GRW Law as we do once a month. Actually, here on the Sports Shop, he brings us a bunch of topics, and he got a couple more you want to share with us right now. What's the next one we're talking about, G?
So something that we had Friday night fights.
Yeah.
Instead of Friday night lights the other night.
It small disagreement.
So it's interesting. Okay.
Amongst 80 people.
So it's interesting you use the word injunction because I'm told that there may be some potential lawsuits to allow a couple of players to play because they got suspended yesterday.
Correct.
Because it's going to impede their ability to make money based on the NIL deals and the other stuff they have going on because they have to participate in X amount of games.
Right.
Particularly when they're saying based on the video that they participated, but they was defending themselves versus initiating.
Peacemakers.
Yes, we're talking about the Howard NCCU Brawls. So I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, so there would be an appeals process.
So and the reason they said they may do it because they don't think the MEAC is going to come from Norfolk down here to try to defend it in time enough before the game against Delaware State happens on Saturday.
Correct.
So you may be cleared to play until the decision is made on that. I don't know how that works, but I won't put that on you like that.
But he just did.
I did, yeah.
Right. Like, I don't want to burden you, but go to the stove for me.
if it's no trouble.
Only if you ain't doing that. But yeah, they could take a similar path as 2311 took as far as filing for a preliminary injunction, seeking or proposing that that these players would suffer irreparable harm by not playing in these events.
That's the words I was looking for. Yeah.
And it would be more those losses could be more defined if there's contractual agreements that require a player to play in X number of games, and that game includes the championship game. There's a definable loss that could be shown. And plus, you have other issues as well. You may have some guys that weren't involved.
Yeah.
Or they were suspended, but they were actually in a peacekeeping posture,
right?
And they weren't advancing the fight. So those are some valid grounds to kind of contest the suspensions. And really, all you need is a week.
That's my point.
Yeah.
And if the courts are required to step in to allow the players to play pending the appeal, then that kind of solves the problem, and you kind of just kick the can down the road a little bit, and then after the game, then it is what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, you suspended beyond your senior career.
Now, if you come back for that for the COVID year, you're gonna have to sit down.
So I do ask. I mean, I am curious though. Just in general, with all of the fights and the dust up. Like, what's the real? I mean, I get the suspensions, but how bad could this scenario? How bad could these things get with all these brawls after Because I can see this bleeding over in the basketball season, other places. I mean, it's other schools that's done it, not just HBCUs. Other schools have been doing it this year. Like, how bad could this get for people? I think people really are missing how dangerous this is, though.
Yeah, and well, it's not new. First of all,
right?
There's the 30 for 30 on the Malice in the Palace.
Yep.
You've had situations like this in sports,
that's right.
but now as things have kind of progressed and guns are more prevalent.
Yeah, all types of things.
And
it just seemed more violent. Just to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's everybody's kind of, I don't want to say clout chasing, but kind of sort of clout chasing. With videos and on social media. So in some instances where things may be able to dissolve without becoming physical. Now, kids are under the pressure of not being punked.
Right. Especially on video.
On video. That's something that could go viral.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that plays a role.
That's interesting you said, and that's exactly what it's not being punked. So it's like, disrespected or whatever. And that's, people, they'll go to the ends of the earth to prove, to retaliate or whatever because of that. I'm not going to be disrespected on video, or I'm not going to be punked. To me, that whole mentality is just crazy, and they'll put their life on the line because of that, which is ridiculous.
Well, think about it. In I won't say our era, but in prior eras, you had guys willing to crash out for that just off of word of mouth.
Yeah. I heard you say X in his own.
Yeah, so now you amplify that by this could be seen by millions of people.
Right.
I could become a meme.
Right.
I think that plays a part in it, but at some level there has to be some de-escalation. Right. With the players before the game. You had an incident pregame Saturday.
And was it VSU? First of all, it was Alabama State, Jackson State.
You had that one.
One of them, you had Virginia State, Virginia Union. FAMU playing somebody. It was just ridiculous.
And there was a big game on Saturday, a pregame dust up. They were on the logo.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so some of that has to happen in the locker room. But to your point, Kmac, it could become disastrous. Someone could lose their life. Someone could get badly injured. You think about a helmet as a projectile. Right. Someone,
That's very dangerous.
See, that's where I was going with that too, because that's dangerous, man.
Yeah.
And then you get into be calling you for real, like this guy try to kill me.
Right.
So can
become a weapon?
Yeah.
It could be.
Can you apply
could be
charges?
Assault with a deadly weapon. Somebody.
Yeah.
So and there could be lawsuits. You have an adult attacking a child.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be criminal implications from that. There could be civil implications for that. So, I mean, if you're gonna play football, play football.
That's it.
You're gonna play basketball. The fights are an unnecessary distraction, which could basically crash some of these kids out and adults. Because if you're a coach and you get involved in a scuff with a player from an opposing team, that may or may not be the end of your coaching career.
Well, a coach and a coach.
Or a coach and a coach.
Because that's what started the fight.
Right.
A coach getting involved with a coach, and then the players follow suit because of that, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
How many jobs you can get into a fight and come to work the next day? Yeah.
I'm going to reserve comment.
Yeah, okay. yeah, that part.
Yeah. Depending on the job and depending on the job requirements and the veracity of the background check.
I was gonna say something real stupid. I'm not.
Yeah.
But anyway,
some jobs don't require background check.
I was gonna say,
or they skip the background check.
That's what I was gonna say.
That's it. Crucial part right there.
That is true.
Like, oh wait, he did what 3 years ago?
Let me get my flags and put them up here.
But yeah, that's so. So that's something that needs to be held in check, and that happened before a national audience as well. It was on one of the bigger TV stations. So it's just not a good look.
Definitely not a good look. It's very sad.
It's beyond that. So yeah, I can definitely understand that. I just thought it was interesting how seeing how they're responding, how the MEAC has responded, as well as seeing how the universities have responded. Actually, I haven't read the statement from Howard. Actually,
not from Howard.
I didn't see a statement from Howard.
But I know I was looking right here, and the Chancellor, Dr. Carol Dixon, comments were said such disruptive behavior is unacceptable, and we are committed to conducting a full investigation and taking appropriate disciplinary action to ensure accountability. That's what she said.
Right, and you got to think some of that is to protect media relationships.
Right.
We're on TV. We want to be on TV again.
We on ESPN.
And really, that's really what the unfortunate part about it. We talked about it.
Right.
And even Coach Alva said we have an opportunity to play on ESPN on the national stage. It's an opportunity for us to promote our brand and our conference and HBCU football. I kind of believe that we let all of them down, and that's what it's all about. I mean, man, when I played in the HBCU, if we was going to be ESPN, I don't think ESPN, maybe they was around when they. But the time we did get on ABC, that was a big deal.
Yeah,
we was in the playoffs. We was on ABC. That was a huge deal, man. And then now it's a norm, and it's elevated now because of the brand, and we go out there acting crazy. That's the disappointing part about it, in my opinion.
There's been a decrease in decorum across the board, and it's unfortunate, but there's a lack of respect for norms and decency in a lot of arenas, and that transcends different areas of our lives from the top all the way down.
You think it have anything plus anything to do with the lack of sportsmanship?
Well, I think that's part of it.
Yeah,
There's a lack of there's a lack of respect.
Yeah,
that's kind of permeating our entire culture and nation. That's people are taking cues from the wrong people.
Yep.
Right.
Starts with leadership.
That's what I was going to say. It starts with leadership.
There you go.
That's where they got their cue from.
There you go.
The one of the coaches, the leadership.
Yeah, right.
And sometimes it's bigger than coaches. It's there's coaches.
It's culture. It starts at the top.
It starts at the top.
Yeah. There you go.
That's. I mean, and that's really. I mean, it's real though. I mean, that's not just kind of discharge the fact that it happened like three of them happened in one weekend.
Right.
Just think about that now.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about this before, but the law doesn't stop on the sidelines.
Wow,
That's good.
So
That's true.
your behavior on the field of play or on the court or what have you can lead to criminal exposure. You know, these incidents after the game, you know, you're getting in a fight or you chasing somebody down or you hit somebody with something or what have you, that could be career-altering, life-altering circumstances. You're playing a violent game. You can hit people legally for an hour.
Yeah, longer than that.
Longer than that.
Yeah, about 4 hours.
You know? I mean, an hour of clock time, game time.
Right.
You know, you can literally inflict physical pain on people. So there's no need to carry that over after the game. So, you know, hopefully these guys will be able to play, and you know, because you probably have some seniors that may have that. If things don't work out correctly,
may have played their
career's
last
over.
game. Yeah, exactly. That's what, and based on, I think, a mature adult who I'm told started this whole thing, a coach from Howard got involved with a coach from Central, then the players followed suit, and the players going to be impacted because of that. I'm not saying that, you know, again, they shouldn't have done it, but you know, you see your guy up there doing,
you got to go in.
You got to go in too.
Yeah, you
right?
got to
So,
go.
I mean, that's just. Yeah, that would happen back in the 80s when I was playing.
Exactly. And think about the watered down, potentially watered down talent on the field with Central losing, you know, 19 players.
19. And one of the players is starting quarterback who's really, really good. Anyway, GRW Law, you can find me at GRW Law, man. Get all you need to get, right, G? There it is right there.
Purpose
GRW Dance Law.
Wow.
Purpose